Becca's master's thesis was actually The Cloaca and You, which will be a self-help book coming out later this year. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I've already reserved my signed copy.
I didn't think you would be able to take it this far. I'm actually impressed.
You're welcome, Becca. Welcome to the Skiffy and Fanny Show live torture cinema,
where boobs are universal translators and eggs are laid in piping hot man-sized piles of dinosaur shit.
Alex looks like they're dying inside.
My soul left my body about
It's
halfway
gone.
through this movie, so you can't hurt me anymore.
Would you say this is okay? Big question, because all three of us have been tortured by Becca, including Becca torturing themselves with Robin Hood. Would you say, Alex, that this movie's worse than Robin Hood?
Oh God, no, absolutely not. No, Robin Hood is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I'll never be dethroned. You'll never kick me off this palace.
I mean, at least if I can try to say something complimentary about the thing to which I was subjected today, it at least had a unified design aesthetic, unlike Robin Hood.
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
Thank you, Waddles. I'm very glad you're here to share this experience with all of us.
Yes, thank you very much for coming.
Welcome to Skiffy and Fanty and the Torture Cinema Show.
Well, in any case, I'm Sean.
I'm Becca.
I'm Alex.
And obviously, we're here to talk about a movie. This is our second ever live Torture Cinema show, and it's on our brand new Skiffy and Fanny Twitch channel, which means you should follow Skiffy and Fanny at twitch.tv/Skiffy and Fanty, and then give us all the money so that we can be rich. And
I do want to be rich.
Yeah, we're just going to buy an island. You'll never hear from us again, so, fine.
It's fine.
But in any case, we are here to share what we've been drinking, probably talk about a lot of very random, inappropriate things, because with this crew in particular, that's almost guaranteed.
I'm innocent.
No, you're not. Not even close. And we'll discuss 2009's Land of the Lost, starring Will Ferrell, Danny McBride, Anna Friel, and Jorma Taccone, directed by Brad Silberling and written by Chris Henchy and Dennis McNicholas. And yes, the original Land of the Lost people are also credited for this, although they didn't really have much to do with this movie other than having made the original TV show.
I mean, they should be happy for that they weren't actually involved.
That's not the emotion.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked that. This is the thing where I would have sued to get my name off of this, because holy shit.
I'm being attacked on both sides.
Anyway, but before we get into all of that mess, we'd like to remind you that we're also hosting a live show called S&F Clacks. Oh, I didn't know about that. Wow.
I did announce it.
Look, it's been a rough couple fucking months. In which we talk about it's only February. It's only February. In which we talk about recent happenings in the science fiction, fantasy, and horror universe and discuss your questions. So you better have some good questions or I'm going to be very disappointed in you. The first of these will happen at 7 p.m. Central on March 3rd, and you should absolutely come. Of course, for that to work, we need you, the lovely listener, to send us nifty questions and topics. So head on over to skiffyandfanty.com/listener suggestions to do just that. Live questions are also welcome.
Looking at you,
I say
Waddles,
with
an
a
honor.
due sense of dread.
February is almost over, which is both thankful and depressing because February has been a shit month.
Yeah, it's a month, that's for sure. But, yeah. Well, okay. So let's get to what we're drinking, because we do sometimes imbibe beverages while we watch this. They are not required to be alcoholic, and I will remind everybody at home, please remember to drink responsibly.
Yes.
It's really important. Take care of yourselves. So, Becca, what beverage are you drinking?
I have a Heatheness Moscow Mule because it's not in a copper mug. and it's double strong because last night's was not double strong and I regretted it. And then I also have a homemade Sonic cherry limeade knockoff.
Oh, that sounds.
It's not, and it's not alcoholic. So that's my,
Your chaser.
That's my chaser. What about you, Alex?
So, due to my current health situation, I cannot partake in alcohol. So instead, I have as a treat some Peepsy.
Peepsy. Why is it
Peepsy?
yellow?
Because it's Peeps Pepsi. It's Peepsy.
Peeps?
No!
Pepsi?
Yes.
What?
Flavored?
Yes, it's peep flavored Pepsi. Peepsy. It's got a peep.
What?
What does that taste like?
It actually tastes like about 60% marshmallow and like 40% Pepsi. It's really
okay.
good.
That's not actually as bad.
I would not want to drink a giant can of it, but
A little tiny one is fine.
a special
Okay.
edition. And then, when I'm done with my tiny can of Peepsy, I also have a Dr. Pepper Zero.
Oh,
I'm so
very,
nice.
very fancy. Oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Can you hear the peeps?
No, we couldn't. Oh, no. Oh, no, no,
Mm-mm.
no. Beep, beep, no.
Marshmallowy. What about you, Sean?
So I usually try to be themed. So you will notice the color of my beverage.
Oh, is
which
it the
I sus-
Is
Hadrosaur
that supposed to be
urine?
the urine?
Yeah, this is Hadrosaur urine. Because I think it's really important that one drinks something based on the movie that you're watching as much as is possible.
Your
so-
dedication is.
Well, I will tell you, it's actually quite good. So if you ever find a bottle of Hadrosaur urine, I definitely recommend taking a sip because... mwah. So it's got a little bit of tequila, triple sec, some lime juice, and I got some dark rum in here from like some southern, like it's like Southern Plantation dark rum. I don't know. It sounds like a racist bottle, but it's not.
I was. It sounds like a racist bottle, but it's not.
But yeah, so that's in there. Yeah, but it's good.
That hurt. That really hurt. We went blank on the stream.
We went blank on the
again.
screen again.
Thank you, Nonner, for pointing that out.
Thank you for letting us know. Yeah. So
I feel like Sean's assessment of the racism of the rum bottle is what just like Twitch was
It
like, no,
broke it.
we're done, cutting it off.
Yeah, we're working on smoothing out all the tech issues. So, hi,
Oh,
Nonner.
hi.
Hi, Jibs.
What is it? Oh, there we go. Okay. We should
Yeah,
be
we're
back.
back.
And we may be permanently back. This is not the ideal way I would prefer to do this, but here we are.
Jerf the Gerst is here. Hello, Jerf.
Did you just invite all your friends?
I did.
Oh, I mean, thank you. Okay.
You're
I
welcome.
mean, Becca, I'm proud of you that you have friends, unlike me and Sean.
My friends asked me if I would go down to the pub today, and I was like, no, I have this shit to do.
Oh,
I
uh-huh.
have special nerd stuff.
Special nerd shit.
No, I
That's
have
right.
I have friends who also lurk in other Twitch streams with me. So they're all
Oh.
here because I put it in my Discord. And so I'm very
Oh.
grateful for all of you for coming.
Yeah, thank you all
You-
very
you-
much for coming.
You charming youngins.
They are probably young.
Yeah, most of them. I
How
think
many in the
Jeff
chat
is older
were
than I am.
born before 9/11?
most. All?
All?
Actually, I don't know about Nonner, but I think all.
all before 9/11? Okay. Me. Okay. got it.
No, okay, not Nonner, but
Okay.
most of them
Most of them. Okay.
are, and not
No,
Gypsy.
no.
Anyway.
And one more is
Oh.
not. Okay, so
Fuck.
we've got some real youngins. Okay, well,
It's okay. Welcome to the cringe.
I'm part of the corruption of the youth, so it's fine.
I mean, collectively
signed
between
my
the three of us,
contracts.
we have 100 years, I think. Pretty close. I'm
Yeah.
almost 40. Becca is pushing 30 at this point.
I'm 26.
Like I said, you're pushing 30.
He's rounding up. It's fine.
I think
and
Alex,
they're all
you're just a few years older than me, right?
Mhm. I'm
Yeah.
42.
So there you go. We're over 100 years old. This podcast
I
is
invited
like
my
Disney, over 100 years old.
beautiful. I invited my friends, but they're just here to bully me. So
I mean,
It
that's
all
fine.
works out.
You deserve it. you deserve to be bullied for the rest of your life for Robin Hood.
yeah. So Robin Hood 2018 is a terrible movie. And in order to prove that it's a terrible movie, I did in fact make several people watch it with me. And you can go listen to our Torture Cinema podcast on skiffyandfanty.com if you'd like. But yeah, I am currently the queen of Torture Cinema.
Yes, that is true. Ah, Rainbow Warrior is here too. Hi, Juan.
Welcome.
Welcome to what is, I'm sure, not going to be that much fun for you because you probably like the original show, and we're going to be shitting all over this movie version.
Well, the thing is, though, you can like the original show, and it's okay that we're going to take a steaming dump all over this terrible movie because the movie had nothing to fucking do with the original show.
Yeah, concept is about it.
Yeah,
and even that's a stretch.
Yeah,
I mean, it lacks both the charm and the production values of the original show.
Oh God.
In any case,
even Leonard Nimoy did a voice in this movie for a character whose purpose is to save
he was
things
Zarn
and die.
He was Zarn.
He was Zarn, the one that's dead, the lizard man that's dead.
I did not recognize his voice.
Yeah,
neither did
he
I.
probably
But he was on the wiki. So.
I mean, he probably did the John Cain. Michael Caine. He did the Michael Caine thing, which is like he probably bought a house.
They are called Slee Stacks. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, we gotta do this movie.
The thing. We have to do the thing.
I didn't ask this beforehand, so I'm just putting people on the spot. Who would like to summarize this movie, and why is that person's name Becca?
I came up with the tagline though. Okay.
But this is the Pick on Becca podcast. No, just kidding.
Fuck.
You don't have to do it if you don't want to.
I'm very bad at summaries. It'll be another one of those recitations of everything that happened.
Okay. No. Quit the water.
So let Alex do it.
I will do it. I will be concise, which is that Will Ferrell is a terrible and annoying scientist who does time travel shit with tachyons, and he got into a fight with Matt Lauer, and then got drummed out of his research institution and became a high school science teacher, but he still thought he was right, and so a hot lady also thought he was right, who was a doctoral student, that got her also kicked out of school, and then they went to this cave, and he played show tunes on a boombox, which somehow activated the tachyons and sucked them into the land of the lost, where all of the random shit in the time stream goes, and they wander around, and I think wacky hijinks ensue or are supposed to, and it is supposed to be entertaining, and it deeply is not.
Yeah.
They meet a guy in a monkey suit. I called them discount Chewbacca costumes from Party City.
Oh,
that is accurate. And they just kind of wander around, and they're all obnoxious and deeply unappealing and very unfunny. And then eventually they're like, oh, there's this alien that needs us to save the universe, except he's actually the bad guy, but we're too stupid to figure that out. So we need to go get our boombox and make it so he can invade the Earth, except not. And then a dinosaur saves the day. The end.
Yeah.
Specifically, a dinosaur that had then shat out a human saves the day.
Yeah.
That part is very important to me. It was almost one of the taglines. It's very important to me.
I mean, this movie has seen the anus of a dinosaur.
Yes.
Well,
but we didn't, because they didn't put that part on screen.
No, and they missed
for
the
which
shot.
I am eternally grateful.
I mean,
and with one of the sidekick characters, other than the guy in the bad monkey outfit, is the guy from the cave who's kind of disgusting and sexist and keeps grabbing the hot lady's boobs.
Yeah, that was why that was the boobs are universal.
Well, hold on. It's literally an example of monkey see, monkey do, because Chaka does it first, and he just repeats what Chaka does.
Yeah, but that's why I said that boobs are universal translators, because he uses her boobs as dials. I'm using the hand motion there for our lovely listeners. Uses
bananas.
Uses them as dials, and then she magically understands him with no writing. Nothing. She just straight up gets words like ghost serpent and zombie dick.
Yeah.
Just
which I mean, especially considering that she was presumably in a doctoral physics program, was very surprising. Because most of them aren't great at communicating.
No.
So she had experience, is what you're saying.
Oh.
Waddles is asking if you guys have ever done Bubba Hotep for a torture cinema.
We have not,
How about-
because that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's an actual good movie. Why would we do that as torture cinema?
Okay, I've
Yeah.
never watched
I mean,
it.
like,
It's
what's
not-
next? You're gonna ask us if we're gonna do fucking Cocaine Bear? Like,
Well,
that's
we
a
are
masterpiece.
covering it on the show, just not on Torture Cinema.
Yeah, not on torture cinema.
I got shown the poster for that today, and I thought it was a parody. Is that real?
It's a real movie.
It is real, and everyone loves it because it is exactly what it says it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Cocaine
it's about
Bear.
a bear that's on
On
cocaine.
cocaine.
That's it.
Anyways,
I mean, it would be like Willy's Wonderland. That's
Yeah.
not a
okay,
torture
that movie I
cinema
did really enjoy. That was a good movie.
It's
Yeah.
an hour and a half of Nicolas Cage being deeply weird.
And he says
could ask for
no. He
more?
says nothing.
He says
He
no-
has no lines.
he has a great work ethic. He takes his breaks on time. It's actually a very like positive labor politics movie.
Mhm. In any case, I think we should move on to talking in true torture
About
cinema
Land of the
fashion
Lost.
of our likes and our dislikes for Land of the Lost. We'll start off with likes.
this-
Would anybody like to go first?
I was just gonna say this is peak torture cinema right now because we're all like, this movie, it was so unpleasant. Could we please talk about
We can talk about
else
anything else.
that would actually be interesting as
I mean,
opposed
don't-
to Will Ferrell?
Nonner, I
Ferrelling
simped
all
for
over the
one
place.
person in this movie. And that was it. There's only
Oh.
one person worthy of being simp for.
I'm disgusted that you found anyone.
I'm so sorry. It was very specifically, it was like 2 minutes of the movie. That was it. The rest of the time, non-simp.
Okay, who was it? Who was it?
It's not Matt
was-
Lauer.
No! Who do you
Okay, I
think
just want to make
am?
sure that you had good taste.
Oh, it was just Anna Friel.
Oh, okay, got it.
She has
Okay.
really good cheekbones.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
Sure.
she obviously just really needed a paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she got to like make some house payments or whatever, because Jesus fucking Christ.
I feel sorry for her. Then,
Yeah.
like, it's one thing to have like one boob grab joke, but like
But
it's
multiple.
fucking constant. Her boob is being grabbed by a monkey or a man who might as well be a monkey throughout the whole fucking movie, and it's like this. They shot multiple shots, so this poor woman is getting groped.
Oh yeah.
This whole fucking movie, and it's not even porn.
And,
then they're
then
like-
and then she has to kiss Will Ferrell
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say like, she
multiple
has to-
shots.
to kiss Will Ferrell and pretend like that's see acting. She had to pretend that he wasn't like the most unappealing person in a movie full of deeply unappealing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she probably also has to pretend he doesn't taste like Funyuns.
Why would you put that in my brain?
I'm sorry. There's some
Why?
actors where I'm like, if anytime someone kisses them in a movie, I'm like, they probably taste nasty.
I should have put 3 shots in this.
Like, you all seen Leverage, right?
Yes.
The main guy from Leverage. Like, anytime someone kisses him, I'm like, that guy tastes like the alcohol his character's drinking.
Yeah.
He just looks like he doesn't
thought
taste
about
good.
this way more than I ever have.
You really have. Like,
Sorry.
I don't think about how people taste.
Well, start.
That's
This
gonna
makes
get
you sound like
quoted.
you're a
I'm so
vampire.
sorry.
That's going on a t-shirt.
Well, no, it's getting quoted in my Discord for sure. Anyways,
Anyway,
Likes and
shall we-
dislikes.
let's do likes and dislikes.
do
We'll start
likes
with
and
likes.
Let's do likes first. Let's get the hard part over with.
all right.
That's what she said.
Oh,
it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't say it first this time.
I just said it what everyone was thinking. It's fine.
You did.
Oh, I feel like I'm dying inside. All right,
Simply already be dead.
Becca, what is
Already
your
be dead.
like?
So I did like. I agree with Rainbow Warrior. The credits were pretty cool. Like just in general, like the tone. But my one like was actually the Danny McBride's character, Will Stanton. I thought, not jokes aside, he was a good character to play off of. And he did a lot to make those scenes somewhat watchable rather than like chewing it up with, Will Ferrell. Like, I thought he just had a good.
Did he though?
No.
I know
he
you're
didn't.
trying really hard. I
trying.
respect
I
it.
just like out of all of them, out of all the jokes, his jokes made me laugh like a little bit versus everybody else's jokes made me like want to die. And not all of his jokes for sure, because he is like the immature character for the majority of it. But like, he was okay, comedic relief. He wasn't the worst. He was better than the other two.
The bar was low.
The bar was so low.
But he crawled.
I've been doing this show for
okay,
like
actually,
12
realistically,
years.
I did just enjoy seeing how many fake plants they bought.
I mean, that was kind of fun.
That was kind of fun to just
But you
pick
already
out how
took
many
your
fake
like,
plants.
so
Exactly.
let me criticize you for it first.
Yeah, sure. And
I've
this
been
is in fact the bully Becca, bully Dicey.
Well, I mean, to be
podcast.
fair, you did invite all your friends, so it makes it easy.
Fuck.
You did this to yourself.
I
You
did.
chose
I
this.
did.
Write
do
it
this
on
to myself.
yourself, Becca. Let the olds get you. At least we're not boomers.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm a millennial.
I know you're a millennial. We're millennials too.
Yeah, we're all millennials. You're just
Yeah,
a baby
exactly.
millennial.
You're just a baby
But we've got some
millennial.
Gen Z in chat, so
Yeah. Well, Gen Z will destroy us on TikTok later. It's fine.
It's fine. We've accepted our fate.
We've accepted our fate. Anyway, okay. Becca, I've been doing this show for this particular show, like, I think 12 years? 13? Pretty
God,
close.
you're so fucking old.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody reach for a like more than you just did.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That
okay,
is a
there
fucking
is-
lie, Sean Duke. I have been on this podcast with you so many times, and I want to hear more about how, like, the fence guild was really well represented because there was union labor. So you're both terrible. You're both
Well,
like bad.
But
I'm
hold
sorry.
on.
To be honest, there was nothing I liked about this movie except for the main woman actress's cheekbones, and that was it. I'm so
That's
like,
a valid like.
okay,
and her
fine. I just
cheekbones.
liked her cheekbones, and that was it. I was trying to go for something else about the actual movie, but she was a simpable character. I really liked it when she cut off the pant legs and they were just like magically perfect booty shorts, like complete straight lines with no scissors. She had good legs, she had good cheekbones, that's all.
So, yeah, I mean, she was clearly there to be eye candy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think...
But you told me I couldn't use her cheekbones, so I tried to reach for
I
something
didn't say
else.
that.
and
I
it
never
didn't
said
work.
you weren't allowed to... No, hold the
Wait a
fucking
second.
fort.
Let me go to my
There is nothing in
DMs.
Discord that says you're not allowed to mention her cheekbones as a like. If you're just like really hardcore into cheekbones, like, okay.
I swear in the live chat you were like, there's no way.
No, that's not liar, Becca.
Oh, okay. I see what it
Yeah.
said. I said I was calling that actress as my good thing, and you said just for that I have to pick something else. So I tried and I failed.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Thank
It's
you.
okay. Your like can be very shallow because this movie too.
It
is
was incredibly
extremely
shallow. I was just matching the tone.
I mean, this movie is remarkably shallow.
It was so bad.
Oh, good lord.
So I will leap in with mine next.
Okay.
As much as I fucking hated everything Will Ferrell did in this movie, I loved watching him. I loved listening to him yell at Matt Lauer.
That was the only joke that aged well
Yes.
in the entire movie. That was the only joke that aged well, was the Matt Lauer can suck it joke.
Yes. I was like, you know what? The one good line in this movie is Matt Lauer can suck it.
Just like me.
A
I mean,
universal truth.
it's wild to me the number of references that were in here that just do not age well. Like the second Matt Lauer showed up, I was like, "Oh fuck," because that one is over.
And it's not even that old. Actually, I guess it is. Oh my god, that movie's 14 years old.
It's before Matt Lauer was ousted,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
like he was
yeah.
still top of his game, and people were still keeping quiet about the shit he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this movie came out in 2009. Sean at first thought it came out in 2005.
At first,
Um,
I
I
did.
mean,
But also 2005 and 2009 are basically the same year. So
Yeah, the CGI was terrible.
for 2009,
Remarkably
not
so.
that bad.
No, I guess not. I don't
mean-
really. What else came out in 2009?
Well, I mean, just remember, like, this movie was made post Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And the dinosaur looked
Ah,
significantly worse than anything in Jurassic Park, which still looks really good.
it
So,
does.
That's true.
That's because it was practical effects.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Some of it, not
there
all
was
of it.
actually some
Not all,
CGI, but it was made by an actual competent director who cared about his visual effects. Unlike
Yeah.
this one.
If you watch Jurassic Park again, Alex, you're completely right. Spielberg also like completely understands the limits
can
of
you-
the tech. So
Mhm.
like the scenes where the T-Rex is chasing them, like a lot of it's in shadow, so you can kind of hide some of the lack of detail. It's very clever. And then by the time you get to like the reveal in full sunlight where he's just fighting velociraptors and shit, you're like, nah, I've just already bought in. It's over. And also that T-Rex head, one of the scariest fucking animatronics ever made. That thing apparently would just like fucking randomly turn on and move for no fucking reason.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. And I guess
You know-
like that scene where the T-Rex goes through the car and like smashes the window, well, it like went too far and like actually was kind of crushing the kids. So their reaction is partly legitimate. They're like, "Oh,
That's
this is terrifying."
terrifying.
Like, can you imagine having that giant head come at you? That'd be fucking scary. It'd be
It would
so
be.
scary.
And then, we compare it to this film where like the end dramatic battle between Will Ferrell and the T-Rex.
Gladiatorial style combat.
I mean, like
Ugh.
him just sort of
What
like
the-
vaguely waving a stick.
A stick that
Yeah.
magically becomes like 3 or 4 times longer because he pole vaults with it.
Yeah.
A
That's
stick that
normal.
is not flexible. Like what?
Anyway.
It's dumb.
Anyway,
Matt Lauer can suck it.
Matt
Matt
Lauer
Lauer
can
can
suck
suck it.
it.
Yeah.
Sean, how about you? What was your like for this?
Well, it's really interesting that
Horrific
Alex
film.
decided to criticize me about being really
Oh, here comes the
pro-union.
reach! The reach!
Well, look, here's the thing, Alex. Like, I just assumed, like, you like me, you were just really hardcore pro-union, and I have always very strongly supported the unions on this show, and really want them to get the respect that they deserve when we talk about some of the work that they do on the movies that we watch. Because unionized film labor is very important, and a lot of labor in the film industry is not unionized. So like in the past, like I've talked about the Pine Tree Union, which is responsible for 75% of all pine trees seen in films in Hollywood. It's a really important union. I'm glad that they've stuck around all this time. In this film, however, it was all non-union labor, so my like actually has nothing to do with that.
Oh.
This was all a preface. That was
You
a
don't
waste of your
say.
time.
What the fuck?
You're welcome. Switcheroo, motherfuckers. Let's go. My like
Okay.
is that I actually kind of like the idea of the dinosaur being kind of like a big dog. Because that would be like, even though it's dumb how it's handled in the movie, the notion that like you could ride a T-Rex and like have like a semi conversation with it and like hang out with a T-Rex, like that's cool.
An intelligent T-Rex, yeah.
Yeah. And he is intelligent from the start. Like he literally does the acorn, like the walnut.
Walnut.
Yeah, okay. I actually did like the walnut thing was one
That was a good
like
joke.
one visual gag I actually really liked.
Yeah, so for the people who haven't watched it, there was a gag where it's like, oh, T-Rex brains were, the size of a walnut, that like there's no way that the dinosaur like can hear us from there, or like it can't really see us, like it's super dumb, not intelligent at all. And then the dinosaur goes back to the forest, and a couple hours later like throws a giant package that's just a giant walnut to prove like, well, I mean, if my brain's the size of a walnut, it's huge. And that was actually that was pretty funny. That was a good
It was
gag.
very funny. But I like it. I like the idea, not necessarily how it's handled in the movie, but the idea. And yes, I do
Yes,
see in the
Nonner,
chat
I
that
do
Dicey
like
likes
the
nuts.
nut part.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean,
Welcome.
at
to
least they
the
didn't
Bully
say
Dicey.
cloaca. Because we do get a great shots of those. In fact,
Yeah.
most of the upskirt shots are actually of dinosaurs or other animals that may have cloaca. So,
It's an educational film.
yeah, I mean, I think it's important to know what a cloaca is. Yeah. Know where not to stand,
Mm-hmm. For all of your dragon fucking needs. Okay, sorry, Brandon's not.
What? Whoa! No! Did we
Dragon
just
D's
go
nuts.
back to Dragonheart?
Anyways,
No. Remember at Worldcon where we
Oh! Talking about dragon fucking, that's right.
I love you, Brandon. And Brandon was like, I'm in danger, help.
How do you fuck a dragon? Really?
with skill.
There are a lot of books that will help you figure that out.
There's a whole website that will help you fuck dragon dicks.
That's right.
I mean,
howtofuckdragons.com.
I was thinking bad dragon, but
Bad
okay.
I mean, I was just gonna say there's an entire subgenre of fantasy romance just waiting for you.
Ice Planet Barbarians, let's go.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Anyway, so
I do
that
see in
was
the chat that I've been corrected that LA is heavily unionized, and so therefore, by implication, this film should have been unionized. And I will just note that I was doing a bit, and so I don't know if this. I didn't search to see if this film was actually unionized, but for the sake of the integrity of the bit, I'm going to say that it wasn't, because I'm going to assume that given part of this was filmed in the La Brea tar pits, that unions aren't allowed there. For reasons I won't describe now, because they were on actually a secure line via the CIA, and I'm not allowed to reveal the state.
Oh, I thought it was the
secrets,
FBI. Did we switch over?
No, it's CIA. It was always CIA.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Oh, fuck the FBI. Those people are assholes.
In any case,
Love you.
now that
by the
we've
way.
managed to limp our way through the likes and reach very far for those, we can finally get to the fun part, which is our dislikes.
What do you mean fun part? We've not been having fun?
I've been getting bullied.
I mean, to be fair,
I
you
found
did bring
that
it.
deeply entertaining. So
No, it was quite
I'm
funny.
having a great time.
I'm so glad. I'm just trying to keep us on track.
No, the
I'm
fuck
failing
keeping us track.
miserably.
Who
this
cares?
losing battle keeping us on track.
Gosh.
It was a
Have you
losing
ever been
battle.
in
for
one of these podcasts?
so
Becca
many-
has been here with
I'm
you
the queen.
several times.
I
know.
am the queen of
That's
torture
why
cinema.
I'm shocked that she thinks she can keep us on track. Like,
I don't know. It was a futile effort. I
Baby.
tried so hard. I think that was too much alcohol for me.
I mean, you're,
I
you're
drink
you know what?
responsibly, friends.
You're not Krampus drunk. You're fine.
I'm
Just
not.
walk it off.
Oh gosh, I don't remember half of that recording.
It was a wild time to be the only marginally sober one on that podcast.
I genuinely don't remember putting my audio files in the Google Drive. I completely blacked out, and my roommate found me in the bathroom at 3 a.m. rocking in the bathtub.
I mean, that's kind of like the experience of having watched Krampus the Reckoning in general. So.
That was a terrible movie. I definitely recommend listening to that episode of Torture Cinema.
Yeah,
Because
just
I
listen to all.
drank,
Our
it was
shit's
like
funny.
5 or 6 like double cranberry vodkas.
How many did you drink? What?
Like 5 or 6. So it had
That's
like,
so
and they each
much.
had at least 2 shots, if not more. Because
I mean, I believe it. You were
I was
You were
a
also
mess.
like
You
21
were on
when
a-
that film.
Yeah,
on
I
like a
was
different planet, on a different planet.
I was on a different planet. I refused to listen to that episode because I don't want to hear.
I haven't been able to drink like that in like 8 years.
I was 21, or I was like right around it.
Because you're old, Sean.
Am I officially an old? Becca, am I considered an old, like legit?
I'm so sorry.
I mean, if you
The answer
consider
is
like,
yes.
yeah, I was gonna say if you consider like statistical grouping, I do believe you are over the age of 35, so you are now middle aged.
Ba-bum.
Sean doing his little surprise Pikachu face there.
He's
Give
having
him a
to
moment.
come to terms to
He's-
this. With
We're,
this.
we're watching the grief process and fast forward.
What have I done? Okay.
Don't worry. Andrea's on your side.
I got one on my side in the chat. I'm
Just one
a
though.
little old. Well, okay,
Only
let's
one.
do dislikes while I still have a soul.
I do actually have a valid dislike.
Only one, please, by all means.
Yeah, I'll stick to one. There are several.
There's so many to choose from.
The hate was any kissing scene, but particularly the one with Will Ferrell and Anna Friel, the two main characters, because it just kept going. Like one kiss, like you can kind of understand, just like the one smooch, but they just kept kissing. And I just felt so bad for Anna Friel because how many takes did she have to do where she had to kiss Will Ferrell over and over again, and not just like a smooch on the like deep kiss Will Ferrell. I
And his Funyun breath.
hate you so much. I just hate you so fucking much.
Funyuns. Why did you pick Funyuns?
I just feel like he eats snack foods, and I was trying to think of a snack food that would make your breath really unappealing.
I mean, that is the top unappealing snack food for breath,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, at least with Takis, it'd be a little spicy. You know, you could have some fun.
Don't
with
like that. Mm-mm,
I don't like that.
I don't
I don't
like
like
it.
that. I don't like
that.
that image that you just put in my head.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
That's
Nanner's
worse than
asking-
the Funyuns.
Nanner's asking in the chat, actual kissing or fake? Well, as
It
far
looked
as I
like
can
actual
tell,
kissing.
It looked like actual kissing, unlike the film that I guess came out where the two characters may not have kissed and may have been CGI'd to kiss.
What film is
That's
this?
a thing?
Had what's his name from Superbad and the Leonardo DiCaprio movie in it. Yeah, that guy.
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio famously doesn't kiss anyone over the age of 25, so.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't Leo. It was the other guy.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah. So apparently they made a movie where they did that.
Sure does agree with you that he would have Funyun breath, so.
I mean, it's either that or like jelly beans.
Mm.
He's a silly man. There's no way he eats normal candy.
Well, I mean, like,
He's not a Kit Kat
there's an
guy.
entire running joke in the movie about him eating stuff because, haha, he's depressed or something.
Right, because
That
he goes
was-
to Arby's. He goes to
Yeah.
Arby's because he's like Anna Friel shows up after he's been like deposed because people call him a crank, and he's like working at the La Brea Tar Pits or whatever. And Anna Friel's like, "You might be right," and like, "Here's some stuff like you could make this thing work." And so, I guess he eats a shitload of Arby's. He eats like 14,000
Well, I mean, he ate a
calories.
donut stuffed with M&Ms. That's the one I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, okay, that
Like,
was
I think
after. Yeah.
I think they were trying to make like some fat jokes, but I don't know. I just
They didn't
I
even come
didn't like
across
the
as
whole
fat.
bit.
Yeah, it was
But it,
any
like, makes
joke
no
that they
sense.
told was terrible.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are fat jokes, there's gay jokes, because his whole show tunes thing, every joke about the show tunes is, oh, listen, gay show tunes.
tune. What the?
Like, the thing I wanted to know is, like, but what are show tunes that aren't gay then? Because the implication when she says it the first time is all show tunes are gay, but later she specifies only gay show tunes, which implies that there are hetero show tunes. Or, I guess, theoretically, if we go to more modern times, non-binary or, like, whatever. Like,
I mean,
what is
just
a
feel like-
non-gay show tune?
I mean, maybe there are hetero show tunes, and we just don't know what they are because they're all terrible and unmemorable.
There you go.
Oh, it's Ben Shapiro.
That's what it is.
It's Ben
Oh,
Shapiro
yeah.
doing musicals.
I mean, yeah, it's basically like, you know, the sort of like the weird right wingosphere where they have like their own cultural everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like
Christian show tunes.
they took Oklahoma too
Christian
seriously.
show tunes.
yeah.
Ugh. Somebody
But,
tried to
like,
redo Book of Mormon and actually make it follow.
That's what I was thinking, because there are a bunch of musicals that are like about
But-
biblical stuff, but like
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
Book
you
of
know,
Mormon
the-
is gay.
but like
There's
none of
so
them
much.
are that. You mean like proselytizing musicals?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just literally
Oh,
any
like-
musical,
well, like,
and it's
When they did that version of Hamilton, remember?
Oh,
Right? That church that put on their own version of Hamilton.
I must have missed that, and I think I'm glad.
Yeah, and they like changed a bunch of songs
yeah.
specifically to like make it follow more like conservative stuff. It was really weird.
They anti-woked it.
Yeah, and
Basically.
yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's what they called it. It was a
Ugh.
time, Alex. It was a
It was
time.
last
So there you
year.
go. That's
It was
hetero show
last
tunes.
year.
It was a time. What the fuck are you
Look-
talking about?
Look, 2023 has already been like 3 years long. So
Correct.
So anyway,
Dislike, Alex, go.
so God, it's actually like it's hard to pick a single dislike because
There were so many things.
I hated every fucking moment of this movie
Same.
because it just was like, I mean, I remember at one point we were discussing like just not doing bad comedies anymore because like a bad comedy is sort of just
The whole
very
thing.
boring and soul destroying because it's trying to be funny and it's not funny. And this had that problem in spades because it was trying very hard to be funny. And okay, there we go. I will specify this as my dislike because it was trying really hard to be funny and the only kind of humor it did was mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like mean and cringe. And those are the two kinds of humor I fucking hate. Like if you like it, I guess bless your heart. I don't understand you, but everything was just about like being abjectly mean to people
Mm-hmm.
in a way that was like, I don't know, probably would have been more acceptable in the 90s, but
And they really stretched it to 2009.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like having grown up in the 90s, I will say the 90s were the time when it was like socially acceptable to be that fucking homophobic and for it to be considered funny. Not that I was right, but that's kind of like how it was, which is why we were all in the closet back then. But like the level of fucking humor in this movie felt like I could have been watching it alongside Ace Ventura. But Ace Ventura is actually still mostly pretty funny, except for like
Yeah.
couple
You're not
scenes.
wrong. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
my brother and I were sitting here like when they finally go to the land of the lost and they're like, oh, we got to find the like little toy thing that helps us get back, and it was like, oh, a whole thing. And my brother was like, we're like 40 minutes into this movie and we don't care about anybody.
There
they're
was
all-
no plot. There was no character development.
Well, and the
Yeah.
characters were given, like, to go to Alex's point, like the whole joke with Will Ferrell's character is just he's just a giant arrogant dick.
Yeah, and he never stops being an arrogant dick. He just
Never.
goes from an arrogant dick who's sad because he was wrong to an arrogant dick that feels justified because he was right. And like there's absolutely no develop, you know, and it would have been something like even in a comedy you would expect the character starts out as an arrogant dick and maybe he's got some funny bits and then he gets like taken down a peg and he learns a little bit about himself and it gets like a little bit schmaltzy, but then you know he develops and he makes friends and then he's still kind of funny. But this was just like, I don't know, man. All of these people were just abjectly awful. And they
Mhm.
weren't awful in a fun way. They just sucked.
Right. They're like, it's the difference between like The Hangover, I know has a lot of problems, but I think what's funny about The Hangover is like they're all kind of awful, but they're awful in very different ways, and it bounces off them very well. So like Zach Galifianakis' character will say like just utterly bananas things, but like that's the point of his character is like he says things and doesn't understand why other people don't like them. He just honestly doesn't get it. And so everyone is reacting out of shock. And that's where the joke is. Or
Yeah.
the joke is like guys just being like really brutally honest with each other, which like as a heterosexual male, like, yeah, we do that sometimes. And like that is kind of funny for me to see men can be kind of like stupidly brutal. Like there's a really funny video on YouTube you can probably find of like a joke thing of a bunch of guys playing Call of Duty, and one guy goes like,
Yes.
and that guy knows what I'm talking about, where he just says like,
What
if
would
I
you
were
guys
going,
do?
if I were going through something, would you all like be on my side?
No,
and, like, help me
absolutely
out?
not.
And they all are just saying like very increasingly more horrible ways of saying absolutely not.
I hope that I go to your funeral knowing that I could change that outcome.
And that's the thing guys, like hetero guys do, not universally, but a lot will do that. But it's actually about diffusing with humor. Like that's what that all is about. We're diffusing like the feelings of that moment by making everybody laugh and we all feel better. But we all know like that funeral joke, like that's not literal. Right?
It's just
like,
to make.
But this isn't.
Yeah.
This movie does the opposite thing, which is like just people are being dicks and they're just being assholes and they're rude and cruel, and we're supposed to find it all funny, but it's not. Like the funniest jokes are like the jokes that are actually the most suitable for the audience the original show was meant for, which was children. This was made for adults. If they had just made this a movie for kids and had Will Ferrell play like kind of a more kid-friendly version of his character and have character development, which would have been nice, this movie might have been okay.
Fun
Great,
fact,
no, but
the first cut of this movie was rated R.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
It was rated
that
R.
was the all cloaca cut.
Yeah. That was where they included the scene of him being shat
All
out
right,
by a
let's-
dinosaur.
We're starting the petition up. We release the cloaca cut.
Hashtag release the
Release
Chloe.
Oh no. But yeah, so it was originally rated R, but they did also release a kid-friendly version of the film that had the bad parts taken out.
That
It
they
must have
didn't
been a
include
very
it then.
short film.
Yeah. Most of the jokes are not appropriate for children.
No, none of them. It feels like it was trying to do the Bluey thing where it puts in jokes that adults understand, but obviously they couldn't because it wasn't
they
a thing at that
shouldn't.
time, or they just shouldn't. Because
Yeah,
what was the reason?
I don't get it. This whole world.
I don't.
I mean, like, you know, I just like the monkey guy. What Chaka's name?
Chaka.
Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
the amount of time he spends clinging to Will Ferrell's leg and trying to grab his junk, I was like, please stop. This is going on for
This is
approximately 20
uncomfortable.
minutes, and it's making me deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, I
And the same when he was trying to grab her boobs.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Something special for everybody. Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh
So-
my god!
I know Becca's looking on the stream right now. So,
Oh.
fun fact for people watching: when this movie was released, they did some
What
promotional
the fuck is that?
Chaka backpacks, which were shaped like the character Chaka.
What? Why is his face on it?
Let me give the link to Alex. Hold on, Alex. I
Why?
know. Hold on, I'll give the link in the chat.
What the hell is that?
Merry Christmas. You're welcome.
Why?
So this
We're
exists.
Oh God, that is.
You're gonna have
What?
to. You're gonna have
Oh.
to cut out the chat if they want to see our faces again. What the?
I gotta put it back up for them though,
Possess
because
someone.
they need to
Oh.
bask in it a bit more.
What
Oh, I don't-
possessed someone to think that that was a good promotional material?
I don't like
That is
this.
a backpack. That is
going
something
to-
that you would have on you.
Well, and I will point out that with the way the straps are, you can have like his little weird paws on your boobies. So there you go.
You're not wrong.
Dude just grabbed me from behind. Woo, so funny. I just his face. That face.
That's
is gonna haunt my
terrible. That is
fucking dreams.
terrifying.
The actor who
God.
plays Chaka
Oh my
is from the
God.
Lonely Island Boys.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Hmm.
We've
That
We've
is
seen some shit
that is
today.
something that belongs on the island of misfit toys.
Yeah. Now here's the kicker. This particular one sold for $65. Someone paid $65 for this.
Oost.
I need to
I don't know.
reevaluate some things.
There are only a few of them that exist, and
What
it's
the
a nightmare fuel.
fuck?
That is
Yeah, that is true. So Jeff says wearing that out in public would be a good way to not have to talk to people.
True.
I do think I would avoid somebody who was wearing that backpack
I
in
mean,
public.
I would want to make sure I was not on the same street with them and definitely not behind them where its horrible little soulless eyes could look at me.
Yeah,
That's terrifying.
it's pretty creepy,
Mm.
guys.
Mm-mm. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, you're welcome.
Not one bit. Fuck you, Sean.
And then Sean also said that apparently it had a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, not the toy for
But
the
the
record.
movie.
The movie
They
was
spent the money to have a
yeah.
fucking Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
this was a box office bomb. It made like I think
It
it
made
cost about 100
70
million.
something?
It made like $70 million or something.
Rightfully
68.
so.
Yeah.
It was
a
a
bomb.
terrible movie.
Yeah, it's not well respected by pretty much anybody. Yeah.
Okay, so the budget was 100 million and it made 68.8 million at the box office.
Yeah, that's a bomb.
And then it made another 20 million in DVD sales.
even more of a bomb.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they really thought this was it, y'all. This was it. And I will note that Ronald Meyer, the president of Universal Studios, said, and I quote, "Land of the Lost was just crap. I mean, there was no excuse for it. The best intentions all went wrong." I will just note, I do take
Where were
issue
the
with
best
lesson.
intentions?
Yeah, there were no best intentions.
There were no good intentions in that movie.
None.
Ugh.
Ugh. But yeah, it's awful.
So
It's
Sean,
just- yeah.
what's your dislike other than the creepy monkey backpack that grabs
Oh
your
no,
boobs?
I can't really hold that against the movie itself because it's
Yeah.
Oh,
not
I
in
can,
the
and I
movie.
will.
It's awful. Yeah, but
That was terrible. I'm gonna have nightmares.
I'm just gonna say, I know I've already referenced it, but like, normally I'm not the one on the podcast that's like, the sexism was bad, because usually when we watch bad movies, they usually are a bit sexist, and so it just kind of feels like obvious. And that's also
it's like the background radiation of like
yeah,
it was
Yeah.
sexist and
The tachyon
deeply
radiation,
racist.
if you will.
What else is new?
yeah.
It's
But this
traveling us
one
back in
is
time.
extra. Like, the groping is incredibly uncomfortable, and I know that they try to like disentangle it by saying, "Oh, but look, he also is trying to grab Will Ferrell's ding dong." Like that's also there, but like they never go back to that. It's Chaka's constantly touching boob, constantly, and I just found that so uncomfortable to watch because it was like, okay, one time I would have been like, fine, we'll just ignore it and move on. But it was like 12
Repeatedly.
separate times. It was just over and over. Boob
That was
touching.
almost every gag. Was they did it once and then they did it again and again and
Yeah.
again and again.
Chaka's whole thing is he's just like a filthy pervert.
But he's
like,
also apparently like a prince
I guess,
who was
because
about to be sacrificed, but then is welcomed back with like open arms.
No, don't get into the plot holes. Everything in this movie has
what
plot hole.
plot?
They go into the magic like pyramid gizmo to talk to the guy who turns out to be the evil guy after all. And they originally were surrounded by all of these guys who were trying to attack them. They don't explain that they just were let go. No, that's never explained.
She
They just get
somehow
away.
brings back a dinosaur egg
Right.
to
When did that
the
happen?
real world, but also doesn't have any backpack.
Right?
Isn't carrying
Yeah.
anything. It has
Well, I mean,
tiny
she put
pockets.
it in her boobs. Like boobs are everything in this movie.
I
She's-
asked
put it right in there, you know?
Sean and Andrea where she put it, and they said respectively her ass and her cloaca.
Release the cloaca cut. It will answer this question.
I'm so putting that hashtag on the tweets. that-
Horny
this when
for
this goes up.
cloacas. Let's go.
Horny for cloaca.
Cloacas.
Oh, I can't put that one on there. No. But okay, but then there's the other thing. There's the other thing, which is when we get to the end and they go to the Chaka people, like, and with Danny McBride, who for reasons that make no sense, he decides to stay, even though like none of that makes no sense why he
makes no
decides to
sense.
stay, let alone how the logistics of the scene in which he decides to stay occur. But sure, whatever. But then he goes to Chaka's like tribe group land or whatever, and finds out. And I know Becca and
I called it.
Andrea
I
both
called it.
called it, which is that every single woman that is of Chaka's species is quote unquote a hot woman. And by quote unquote a
Mhm.
hot woman, I mean conventionally attractive and like,
hairless.
Of course, hairless. and-
Absolutely hair. Well, except for these
Like
strategically placed
Mermaid
Right.
hair.
Yeah.
They all had mermaid length hair, so it covered their tits.
Yeah, precisely. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with people being attractive, but like, the fact that we could predict that was where this was going was just like a
Mhm.
little gross. Of
Yeah.
like, it would actually be more funny if like, no, they're indistinguishable. It turns
That
out
would be
Chaka is actually a
hilarious.
girl, and like, they just assumed he was a he because we're fucking humans and we're stupid.
Yeah.
And like, you get to them and it's like, oh, it turns out like they're like fucking dwarves. Like, you can't tell the difference between any of them. And so Danny McBride, who is obviously intended to be a fucking pervert when he just stays behind because he thought he'd
Regrets
be
it.
like a king. Yeah. Instead, he finds out like, oh, I'm gonna have to find something out about my intersexuality because like, like I'm suddenly gonna have to be into furries, like or whatever. But no, it's fucking hot people because of
Hashtag
course
suddenly furries.
suddenly furries.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it
no,
was-
we totally called it. Was like, yeah, the girls are gonna be hot, like quotation marks hot, because they were all quote unquote super ugly with great personalities.
That would have been
Mm.
more interesting. Like, or you find out that women are in charge of the entire society because they're actually quite brilliant. And I
But
don't know.
instead, Chaka's like, oh yeah, I have a harem of 4,000 women.
Yeah, just casually mentioned that. which just-
Casually. How
come
do
on,
you
bro.
support a harem of 4,000 women
Doesn't make any sense.
in a desert society?
I
Also, if
mean,
you have
asking
4,000
anything in this
women,
movie
like,
makes
what-
sense.
That's
is,
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, like that line purely existed because it's like some little writers.
Although I
make it.
wouldn't say no to a harem of 4,000 women. If it was offered
mean,
to me,
If it was voluntary, sure.
I don't think I could say no.
Not for me, but I don't know what to do with that many women.
I was gonna say
I could figure it out.
I don't have that level of energy.
No,
Tired man.
that's way too much fucking work.
I could figure it out.
I'm good with one. I'm
Well,
married.
you're young. It's fine.
You'll have to shave off as you go along and start getting older when you run out
Yeah,
of energy. Yeah.
That's when you just gift them to. Oh God, please.
Ooh,
Never mind.
we
This is
just went
getting
somewhere.
really
We
bad.
just
Wow.
went to somewhere else.
Wow.
You can just
Wow.
ignore me. I need some water.
Wow, Becca. Okay. Yeah. So this
And
my
was
today
brain.
we learned a little about this movie and a little about ourselves.
We
a little
did.
about Becca.
What do you
maybe
think
it's maybe
the,
it's right that I'm bullied. Um,
I mean, I don't know. Like, well, I mean, okay, but maybe a little bit, but only in the nice, kind way.
of course.
A lot happened, Honor. You missed everything in the chat.
I said that I would gladly accept a harem of 4,000 women, and then logistically,
yeah.
I
went
just
off
love
the
how
rails.
this is your moment to like pretend that never happened, but you're like, no.
No,
Let me
just gonna own it.
explain.
it was
why you should
recorded. I
drag
can't
me to
pretend it never
hell.
happened.
Oh, no
It is
one
rec-
listens
it
to
is
this
live on
podcast.
Twitch.
I
No
will
one listens
just
to this
note.
podcast. It's fine.
I will just note that when this all started, someone in the chat did note that Becca was a weeb,
Yeah.
and it now makes so much sense what kind of
Yeah.
weeb Becca is.
I don't want
Harem
to
anime
say
all
how many
day
harem
long.
animes I've watched in the last 2 months.
I know
But
you
it's-
watched it.
It's quite a few.
Mhm.
Well, is
Let's
there anything
see.
else we want to tackle in this terrible movie?
It's just not. I don't know. I feel
It
like there's
just
nothing
wasn't
worth
good.
It was just bad, y'all. Like,
Did you stick around for the mid-credit scene, Alex?
oh no, absolutely the fuck not. Credits
There is
rolled.
a
I turned it
mid-credit
off.
scene.
So there was a mid-credit scene,
Oh,
and
no.
it actually existed, and it was the egg hatching into a slee stack. Because what this movie really needed was a sequel hook.
Yeah.
Just
How would that even work? Because the only way that works is that if slee stacks have genetic memory. But since we already know slee stacks can have different points of view, that doesn't make any sense. So they're not a hive mind.
Did anything in this movie make sense though?
No, I mean literally nothing. I mean, I didn't
They
find
weren't
out
thinking that far
until-
ahead.
I didn't find out till after when we basically like 5 minutes before we started that this movie was meant to be a parody of the original. I thought this was a straight like reboot of the original.
in what way did the
What?
original need a parody?
Yeah.
No,
it
they
was just a
didn't.
kids show.
Right. They could have just made a new kids friendly movie and we would have all been happier for it. But no. Freaking Will Ferrell was like on his high doing Anchorman and all that shit. And they were just like, yeah, throw money at him. No, stop it. Relegate him to weird Netflix movies. Let's move on.
Oh, I can give you another dislike.
All right, Becca.
Speaking of the scene that made all three of us in the live chat want to like gag was the scene with the mosquito tick things.
Oh no! Oh.
Terrible. Awful.
Oh.
Horrific.
It's so bad. It was so giant. Oh.
It was
I mean, I did
disgusting.
kind of giggle though when he wakes up in the morning and he's got the big welt
yeah,
on his back.
but he
I thought
he
it was
has
so
one on
funny.
his back, but he doesn't have one on his
Right.
neck.
Yeah, because they don't know how animals work.
Continuity.
I mean, yeah. They went for
Anyways.
this is the thing. It's like the criticism of this movie, which I think we all have, which is it's just a long string of skits that are
Yeah.
loosely tied together, and there is no sense of like continuity. Like if this was an SNL skit of like, oh, the giant tick, and like, but they missed the whelp for the mosquito, but it was on SNL, and it was like we would just be like, whatever, fine. Like the continuity is not necessary in that because there's a joke, and the joke's more important. But this is a movie with a supposedly a plot. And so we expect things to be tied together, the things to be logically consistent, even in a comedy. Like, for fuck's sake, The Hangover makes more sense than this.
Which came out the same weekend.
Yeah. I would rather watch The Hangover.
Good point of
Never seen it.
comparison. Yeah. No, it really, yeah. I think you're onto something there with it. Just like felt like a series of loosely connected skits that they just sort of pitched together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which would also explain why there was like absolutely fucking zero character development, because
None.
they weren't trying to develop a character or a plot. They were just trying to be like, here's a bunch of skits and cloacas that we cut out of the film. Like,
I want to see the cloaca cut.
the cloaca cut. It's
I
Release
think it's
the
important.
cloaca cut. Oh, no. Oh my god, no, I can already see it. It's just Liam Neeson. Release the cloaca.
Okay, and so another fun fact, apparently at one point in time, Jack Black and Kirsten Dunst were in talks to play the main characters.
Wow,
I
they
feel like
dodged a
Jack
bullet.
Black would have actually
Jack
been-
Black could have done it. He could
I
have.
mean, not with the script.
No,
as
not with that
written.
script. But
I mean-
still.
because I do feel like even I would say like as a comedic actor, I trust Jack Black like a million times more than I trust Will Ferrell, because Jack Black isn't mean the way
Yeah.
Will
true.
Ferrell is. So like even if you gave him a script where all the jokes were super mean, I feel like, I mean, remember he managed to play a fucking teenage girl in Jumanji.
And he did
Where-
it well.
He did it super well. It didn't feel like he was, being like, oh, look at teenage girls, they're so stupid. It actually felt like funny and kind of sweet. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
because he's a good person.
I mean, that's true.
He is a
I
good
don't know if Will
person.
Ferrell is a bad person, but he played one very well here, which I guess is a credit to him.
I guess.
It just doesn't make for good viewing experience.
No,
was,
it's just,
it was just awful. I did not enjoy this movie.
You're welcome.
Thank
Whose
you
fault
to
was it?
our lovely Patreon subscribers who voted
oh yeah,
for
fuck
this
you
movie.
people.
Which I believe Andrea said that she did in fact vote for this movie,
Thanks
but
so
then
much.
she
You,
did also
Andrea.
watch it with us. So
You did this to me.
she
For
did.
For our
Andrea has
listeners at
confirmed in
home,
the
I'm
chat.
flipping the bird to the camera.
And she hates herself for it.
Like I don't. Oh shoot, my camera.
Oh,
I don't
goodness.
Left
hate
the building.
myself for doing like for suggesting this movie.
It's okay.
But-
I hate you for suggesting Robin Hood, and I'm never gonna let it go.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Like, I don't hate myself for suggesting that. But God damn it, this stupid camera. I don't hate myself for suggesting that movie, but it was a terrible movie.
It was. Well,
This was
that
just worse.
suggests
It
was
we
an
should get to our
unforgivable
final
sin.
thoughts in our grade, which means, Becca, what is your final thought and grade for Land of the Lost?
Final thoughts. Irredeemable.
A good word.
But I do still think that Robin Hood was worse. So I can't. I'll give it an F plus
Wow. Okay.
because there was no redeemable qualities. The plot was so like it was fucking cheesecloth that somebody had taken a knife to, and the jokes were all terrible. So F plus because it can't get like an F minus because that's Robin Hood. But you know,
It's Robin
None are
Hood,
saying
like,
you're generous.
What is it? I was gonna say that's like Robin Hood and Babylon AD is like our
Mhm.
F minus territory.
yeah.
I mean, look, as long as Mac and Me continues to be seen as a great film that we've covered, I'm happy.
The reality you
Sure.
occupy is very different from the one the rest of us live in, Sean.
It's
I
somewhere
love it.
else. He's in the
I
fucking land
mean,
of
I
the
will
lost.
say, like, I was just reminded today of Babylon AD being one of our worst movies ever. And I was like, if we want to go for another Vin Diesel, there is, what is it, Bloodshot?
Oh yeah, the one that came out during COVID.
Yeah. Mhm.
So literally, I actually went and saw that movie at the theater across the street from me the night before lockdown. And
Wow.
I took my friend Isaac with me, and he has still never forgiven me for that being the last movie that he saw in a theater for 2 years.
Oh no.
It was
Not
bad.
good. Well, it'll be on the list then.
What a joy.
So, Alex, what is your final thought and grade?
So yeah, this was just an objectively unpleasant experience. It reminded me why I refused to watch anything that involved Will Ferrell up until Stranger Than Fiction, where I was like, oh, he's actually capable of being in things where I don't hate the sight of him, and he's not just like mean and unfunny.
It's a miracle.
Yeah. So this was just, Will Ferrell being Will Ferrell in a deeply unpleasant Will Ferrell way, and the movie was awful, and I got tired of watching this poor woman have her tits grabbed, and it sucked. So I'm gonna say honestly, like, I hated it, and it was objectively unpleasant, but it was also only like when you took the credits off, because I didn't give enough of a shit to watch the credits. It was also only like 90 minutes long. So it could have been a lot worse, because we've watched much longer terrible movies.
True.
We have. This was only like an hour and 20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm honestly gonna give it just a D for deeply unpleasant.
Wow.
D for deeply unpleasant. I like that.
Fair.
Nah, it's an F.
Well, all right. Well, that brings it to me. Yeah, I hate this movie. It's not fun.
Slog.
It just feels like if you could imagine what the movie equivalent of death is, this kind of feels like you're dying while you watch
it. It's just like your soul is just slowly leaving your body
Mhm.
because it
you're
doesn't
like
want to
astral
be here
projecting
anymore.
against your will.
Yeah, or you're just like, this is such a terrible experience. I'm gonna just gently dissociate to get away from it.
I mean, I've tried to watch because I have to watch because of the Discord chat, but I just was like, there were points where I just wasn't saying anything because I was like, it's just more really.
I was
stupid
trying.
jokes. There was nothing to say. Like, oh,
There
they
was
did
nothing.
another dumb joke. Oh, they did another. Will Ferrell singing now, like for fucking some
Oh
reason.
my god.
Oh god, no, don't even. I can't. No, let's. I regret mentioning it. Ugh. So I don't know.
No.
It's just a bad movie, and it's really sad. And the fact that this could have just been like a fun kids movie that still could have been bad, but might be a little fun, just makes me sad. Like, why this movie doesn't need to exist? When people complain about like reboots and shit, this is the movie they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody asked for this. Nobody. There was a
Nobody.
1990s reboot of Land of the Lost. We could have waited another 20 years for another fucking Land of the Lost. Or like Netflix could have done it. Or like HBO Max could have done it and Zack Snyder could have given us the cloaca cut. Whatever. But this is what we got instead. So it's an F for me.
I did just find another fact on the IMDb page
Oh no.
where Brad Sieberling had talked about releasing an extended version of the film in press material and on the film's commentary, but because of its failure at the box office and the negativity from critics, it was never released.
Good.
Thank fuck.
At least it's not Show Dogs.
I don't know what that one was.
Which one's that?
Okay, Show Dogs. I've said this on the
Oh no,
podcast before.
oh, okay. That's the one with the
The grooming scene.
The grooming
Yeah.
scene.
So I want to be clear. I saw Show Dogs in theaters because this is when I had Movie Pass, so I was just like watching movies because I
Why not?
fucking
It was
didn't have to pay
cheap.
for it.
Yeah, you could just
Yeah.
yeah.
So I went to see Show Dogs, and Show Dogs is about a cop dog who it's basically like Miss Congeniality but with dogs. It's the premise. So he has to go
Okay.
undercover in a dog show in order to like find crime. Whatever the
Okay.
crime is, right? But he's like from the streets, so he's like kind of like a rough and tumble dog, and he has to like learn how to be not rough and tumble. Well, for reasons I don't understand, in show dogs that in like the actual show dog industry, like they like put their hands underneath their bits and bobbles, right, to like feel the heat or take their I don't understand why, but they put their hand in there. So they have a whole scene where justifiably, the dog who has been talking to us the whole time, and therefore a person, has been like naturally reacting to, you're putting your hand down there, I'm gonna bite your ass. But the scene is like, no, you have to learn to take it. It's a good thing. You have to like it. It's literally a scene grooming the dog to be accepting of basically being touched in an inappropriate place. That film removed that scene after the fact. And so future theatrical viewings didn't have it. This is actually the benefit of having digital, because they can, in fact, just easily remove it and just give them a new digital.
That's
But I saw that
terrible.
version in theater, and I was disgusted because it's fucked up.
That is, yeah, I remember you telling me about that, and I was like, that is super fucking gross.
It's messed
That's
up.
so
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. And people don't believe me. I'll tell them this happened and I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And they'll be like, no, that's not real. It's like, yeah, 'cause
I
they, like,
believe
fucking
you.
scrubbed
I
that
just
from the
want to
internet.
forget that you told me.
Yeah.
I want to no longer have this knowledge. Because
Yeah.
it's too
Why
bad.
did you curse me with this?
It's bizarre. But yeah, it's a bad movie.
In any
Well,
case, I think that averages out to an
F+.
F plus. So
Yeah, not a good movie.
Not a
Shocker.
good movie. It's bad. It's
So,
just
bad.
terrible.
This movie is bad, and it should feel bad.
0
It
out of
should.
10. Do not recommend.
don't watch this movie. Don't do it.
Ugh.
Yeah,
There's
don't
better
watch this
choices you can
If
make.
you really want like to get some Slee Stacks, just watch the original kids show, because that was at least like
Fun.
charming at times.
Yeah. So, as a reminder to folks, you can, in fact, vote on Torture Cinema. Anybody who is a member of our Patreon at any level can vote in the polls. They go up at roughly the beginning of every month for whatever that is. And all Torture Cinema will be live for this year, with the exceptions of a couple of them, because I'll just be gone and so I can't host anything. So they'll be pre-recorded. But there'll still be polls for those. They'll just be voted on. The full schedule is on the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SkiffyandFandy. If you just go to the About section, it'll tell you the full schedule for both Torture Cinema and SNF Clacks. That full schedule is set, so barring death, we'll be doing that. And if I died,
Well, then it's not your problem anymore. So
yeah,
there you go.
no offense, guys, but I got other shit to do.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
You got dinosaurs to be pooped out of.
ew.
Cloacas
So-
to inspect. We need to get you a Cloaca Inspector T-shirt.
Oh God.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You should feel bad about it.
You
Send
should
me
feel
your
feel
bad
bad.
address,
about it.
Becca. I'll get you a shirt.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna say no to free clothes.
Oh
Oh
my god.
man.
Oh my god, I gotta get a visual for that. I gotta find an artist.
Cloaca inspector. No, don't, because then everybody's gonna start doing it for everything. Oh no. My Discord's just gonna be full of shirt designs with unfortunate things that I've been quoted as.
I mean, I can't wait for the next time you do like what is it, that Jackbox game that's for designing T-shirts.
Oh yeah. God, I love Jackbox.
Okay. Well, we're gonna,
Anyways.
we're gonna push on. If you'd like to send thoughts about this episode, please go to listener suggestions, which is at skiffyandfanny.com/listener suggestions. Skiffy and Fanny is everywhere on the internet, theoretically. You can follow us at Skiffy and Fanny on most social media sites, and you can find those on our link tree, which is in the Twitch image you can see there, or for folks at home listening, it's linktr.ee/SkiffyandFanty. We're on Twitter, Mastodon, Facebook, we're on a bunch of places. We also have a newsletter at skiffyandfanty.com/newsletter, so you can get that. If you enjoyed this and you are in the chat at the moment, or you're listening at home and you have no life, you should immediately go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review explaining how much you love this show, and then tell literally every single person you know who might like this show about it, so that we can have 10 trillion followers and listeners, and I can literally just do this as a job instead of having to work and do other shit, and Becca will be able to pay off her student loans.
And me too.
And
Yeah.
all of us will all be able to pay off our student loans.
It'll be
How
wonderful.
cool would that be?
God, wouldn't that be nice to
Living
God,
the
that'd be
dream.
amazing.
Anyway,
One day.
one day. As for me, I'm in a bunch of places. I'm at SeanDuke.net. I am also Alphabet Streams on Twitch. I stream 7 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Central Time. And I'm also at patreon.com/thejoyfactory, and on various socials like Twitter and Mastodon. I also have a link tree, which is just /Sean Duke. You can also find The Histories, which is my fun little encyclopedia project about real people and their real histories, at seanduke.net/thehistories.
And you can find me on Twitter at BeccaE96, as Dicey Druid on Twitch, and on a couch somewhere reading comics while plotting world domination with my cat army.
And you can find me at Katsudonberry on Twitter and Instagram, always on my website at katsudon.net, where I've got links to a lot of free short stories, blog posts, and my newsletter. Right now I'm not updating socials a whole lot because I've been very busy on a super secret project I'm not allowed to tell anybody about. But at some point the seal will be broken and you'll find out what cool things I have been up to.
Very exciting.
I can't wait, because Alex can't even tell me, and Alex likes me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not allowed to tell anyone I
Yeah.
signed a thing.
Can you tell
Like-
your Snorlax, though?
I tell my Snorlax everything. His
Okay.
name is, by the way, Lord Snacks.
Lord Snacks! Oh, I love him!
That's adorable. Well, perfect. So in order to end this show before we and eventually do a full closeout for the Twitch stream, I will just remind people that Becca has kindly actually been really helpful lately, because Becca, as our resident cloaca expert, has actually sent me a list of PhD programs that will accept English majors into cloaca studies. And as a reptile fan,
It's a burgeoning field.
it's a really important field, actually. You would be surprised what you could learn from the cloaca of other animals. So I have enrolled in Purdue University's Cloaca Studies program. Very much excited. I will start in the fall.
Excellent. And I'm sure you're going to be
Congratulations.
taking like the history of the cloaca,
Yeah,
cloaca in visual art.
Cloaca 101,
that's really
yeah.
important.
Cloaca
yeah.
101. Yeah, I mean, you have to start with cloaca
You have to
101.
start with
With
Does it have a
cloaca.
lab section?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
is a
you need-
lab section. There's
You need
also
hands-on
cloaca
experience with the cloaca.
We
Yeah.
should have a cloaca counter.
Yeah, it's a lot of cloaca.
So much cloaca.
So
So much cloaca. I'm
There's
so
even a,
disappointed that we didn't see enough.
So Becca will know this because Becca's also gone to school for this, but there is actually a cloaca memorization test, which is a series of images of cloaca you have to memorize.
Oh, because you need to identify the
Yeah.
the cloaca, like where
Mhm.
it
The
comes
animal
from,
it belongs
because,
to.
Yeah.
Like a Rorschach block.
yeah,
you
it's
know,
it's a
for
you know, you look at the cloaca and really you're looking into yourself.
True. Yeah. In fact, there is cloaca psychology, which is precisely about this, about understanding the relationship between the human and the cloaca. Yeah.
It's very complex and interesting.
Becca actually took a whole unit on that. Took
Uh-huh.
3 separate
Totally.
classes. Yeah. That was actually
I'm an
Becca's-
expert now.
Becca's master's thesis was actually The Cloaca and You, which will be a self-help book coming out later this year. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I've already reserved my signed copy.
I didn't think you would be able to take it this far. I'm actually impressed.
You're welcome, Becca. I'm
You're welcome,
sometimes smart.
citizens. You're welcome.
And on that note, awkward ending and scene.
Insane.
If you want to support this show, you can go to patreon.com/skiffyandfanty or skiffyandfanty.com, our website, where you can get access to all of our fancy things. Our music comes from Holy Mole. You can support him and his work at patreon.com/holymole. Thank you for listening.